So she says, I'm giving back all the shame I carried for you. Now tell the truth just like you taught me to. So this, I'm going to be honest, this to me doesn't really seem to work. This seems to imply, like, now tell the truth just like you taught me to. Throughout this whole song, from my view, she has been addressing a broad group of sinners, right? I don't think that it's been, to me, it hasn't felt like a specific individual. I know that maybe you can interpret it that way, but even if it was aimed at a specific individual, there was no connection between that individual and Amy. And now she's saying, oh, this person taught her to tell the truth. What this makes me immediately think is like parents. Like, is she talking about her parents here? And so this line, it's not an inconsequential line. It's the climax. It's the last unique lyric that we get. And so, I think the idea of like, now tell the truth, that makes sense to me. Like, okay, she is now forcing them to own up to their mistakes. Like, you are now in the rapture. You now, like, I am going to make you tell the truth. Like, cause that is my role, right? As messenger of the rapture or whatever. Like, you're going to own up, or it doesn't even need to be tell the truth. It's, you're going to own up to your mistakes now, whether you acknowledge them or not. That part makes sense. It's the part where she whispers, just like you taught me to. That's strange to me. Like, on one hand, like, to me, it's like the whole song hasn't really been geared towards a specific individual. And even if it has, it doesn't seem like there's been a personal connection between her and the individual. But now she's establishing that this person has taught her to tell the truth. That doesn't quite make sense. I mean, and when you think about like who teaches you to tell the truth or not, it's usually like your parents, your family members, maybe a teacher that you've had, or a mentor, or it could be like your ex-boyfriend or something. I don't know. But it just kind of seems to come out of nowhere. And as like the big line, right? Like, it's the climactic line. It seems to throw in this weird plot point that maybe I'm just missing, and I'm not quite understanding it, And then listen to the way that she says it too. It's not like she's, it sounds personal. It's like, that seems like it should be very important with that delivery, and yet it doesn't quite make sense with the rest of the song. Who has taught her to tell the truth? You know what it might be? Sorry, I just had this. Maybe these people, by not facing their issues, taught her to face her issues. I think that works. Okay. Sorry, I just had a big old, I'm having revelations now. It's funny. I'll sit and do it usually takes me about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours to make my notes for these songs. I take pretty comprehensive notes. And I just was staring at this line. I was like, I don't understand it. I don't get what this line means. But now that just clicked for me. Okay, so sorry, I need to backtrack now that I'm like seeing it differently. So I'm giving back all the shame I carried for you. Again, I talked about that line. Now tell the truth just like you taught me to. And I think that that's a perfectly applicable interpretation to say, I learned to tell the truth by watching you lie. So you liars, how deceitful and terrible you people have been, has taught me how important it is to be honest with myself and be truthful. And therefore she saw the light. Okay, cool. All right. You know what? I stand corrected right here live on the episode. This was like the one issue. I was like, why is she talking about her parents? Like, don't lie, Amy. Like, that's who would do that. So nope. Okay, cool. Look, y'all, I do my best. All right. I'm not perfect. But this is okay. Cool. Yeah, this song's great. Now that was the one problem I had with this song. Now I'm pretty much pretty cool with this song. Okay, hold on, I need a drink. But there we go. So that's cool. And actually, you know what? Now that, see, I wish I had caught this when I was doing my notes, because now I'm connecting the dots. There we have our two parallel stories, right? Amy, or, you know, the two parallels of the third party who won't acknowledge their mistakes, and Amy who did acknowledge her mistakes, and how these two paths are kind of intersecting. And then via the rapture, Amy is allowed to go up, and then this person stays below and is forced to face their consequences, but it's kind of too late at this point. Like you're screwed. The rapture's happened. And now she's kind of, as she's up in heaven here, she's kind of looking back down and explaining, you know, like, I'm no longer going to feel shameful. I'm releasing my shame. I'm releasing any shame that I felt for you or because of you or whatever. And also, now you have to fucking eat dirt. And I don't, because I watched how you lie. I watched how you ended up in this situation, and you were too afraid to see that for yourself. And so that's actually a really great, like, culmination of those two paths, that parallel story that we set up in the first verse. So sweet, cool. That makes me feel, I felt like a crazy person talking about these parallel verse 1 interpretations, but that makes sense to me. So hey, we are good. I have all these fucking notes and they don't mean anything anymore. I was going to talk about like the issues with it or whatever, but it works for me now. So, hey, okay, we can just keep moving and we can keep moving it right along. Cool climax. Yeah. Really good climax. Finishes out the story and kind of drives the point home of like, hey, if you're a sinner, maybe you should acknowledge it. And if you're, not a sinner, just take a look at the sinners and see what not to do. You can learn a lot from them. So kind of cool. Okay. Let's go to the next section, which isn't even really a section.